Hello, hello. Happy Friday, everybody. We're going to get started here in just a moment. We'll give it another 30 seconds or so for people to jump on, and we'll get right to it. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. I see we have some people jumping on now. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let's go to the moon, you bet. All right, well, speaking of which, let's get going. It is Friday. Happy Friday. It's May 16th. Hope you're doing well. It's Rod with Powell Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. We do have a short squeeze going on at the moment on Virgin Galactic SPCE stock, and we're going to take a look at the chart. They had the earnings yesterday. The earnings call, we had multiple technical indicators saying that a big move was coming. I even gave a warning on multiple videos over the past few weeks. And we do have a new target of $6.33. Keep in mind, it did do a 1 for 20 reverse split as well. So these prices should be a lot lower than they are. It's just an accounting trick that the market makers love to do to manipulate and game the market even more. So before we get to it, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. When I jump into the chart, I'll give my thoughts and opinions on the price action in the days, weeks, months ahead. But as always, it's not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, and never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. I've disclosed this in the past, but want to be transparent. I do own SPCE stock, and a lot of people in the Powell Group private community followed me on that trade. So congrats to everybody who took advantage of that. I know everybody is probably up pretty big at the moment. But if you're like me, I'm holding it long term. I'm not selling anytime soon. I might take my initial investment out somewhere just north of $10. But you have to remember, it did a 1 for 20 reverse split. So if this stock goes to $100, that's only like it's at $5, right? Because it did a 1 for 20. You have to divide 100 by 20, and you're going to get yourself a $5 stock, right? And even if it went to $100, or technically $5, not factoring in the split, if it goes to $100, it's still going to be down over 90% from the all-time high. So people are asking me, is it possible for it to go to 100? Absolutely. It would still be down over 90% from the all-time high. So if it was there once and it's down 90%, 99%, it can definitely go back to that $100 or $5 pre-split. You can also follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. I just posted over on X and in the Powell Group private community as well. Sometimes I'll give people my charts on X, but most of it is in the Powell Group private community, and that's where we spend all of the time. We have close to 60 paid members now, and it's just day in, day out. That's where I spend all my time. So you can see here, I posted a video. This was April 28th. Wow, time flies. So that was like 2.5 weeks ago. I said Virgin Galactic big move incoming, SPCE price prediction and stock analysis. So in this video, I literally gave you a heads up over 2 weeks ago saying that a big move should be coming for the stock. And then I posted another video. This was back on May 12th. So if we just take a look at where the stock was on May 12th, and we did beat earnings, but let's just go back to May 12th. This is the 15-minute time frame. I'll show that in just a moment. But May 12th was right here, and we closed on the day. We closed at 316. That's what we closed the price at. And I said in that video, I said target was 363. And then look at the high a couple days later on May 14th. The high was 363. You literally can't make this stuff up. That's just a daily bull flag that we were looking at as the target. And in order to get that target, you just have to take your fib tool, go from the low to the high there. And then that was our measured move there from the low to the high. And then move it out to your 0.32 fib. And it was saying 363. And then just like clockwork, that's what we did. So we'll look at a 15-minute bull flag that's on. Whoa, it's actually getting close to confirming the target already. Wow. So this is a short squeeze in full force. If anybody didn't know what a short squeeze was, essentially it's just shorts covering their positions, getting out. It basically they're thinking the stock is going to go down. They're short selling. They're borrowing the stock and then selling it back and then whatever, the difference is, they keep the profit. But when it comes to a short squeeze, they have to cover their position and effectively buy the stock. Therefore, it creates this type of squeeze, and people are just hitting the buy button as well, hitting limit orders, right? So that's what happens. And you want to look at volume. Volume is going to be your clear indicator that it's a short squeeze, but we'll take a look at that in just a moment. But again, I said 363 was the target, and earnings, they continued the momentum with positive earnings. You can see here yesterday they came out with their Q1 2025 financial results, and they said future astronaut sales expected to open in Q1 2026. So they did beat in terms of estimates by quite a large margin, actually. Estimate for revenue was 285,000, came in at 461. So that was a beat by 61%. And then they also said that they weren't going to be affected by tariffs, so they were kind of buying in anticipation of that. So that's kind of a worry, that an uncertainty that people didn't like. And as we know, the market doesn't like uncertainty. They also beat in terms of EPS. Forecast was negative 2.68, and it came in at negative 2.38. So very big beat there in terms of both. Here we are up over 65% here at the moment. So we had a 15-minute bull flag. You just take your measured move there from the low to the high, move it out to your 0.382 fib, just like we did with the daily time frame. And you can see here the target was, I said 633 on the thumbnail, but I realized that I wasn't zoomed in as much. So it's around 630, 627. You can always give or take a few pennies, right? If it's at 10 cents, well, give or take a penny. If it's at $6, give or take, 10 cents or 20 cents, right? If it's at $1,000, well, you might want to give or take like, $20 or something like that, right? The higher, it just depends on the stock price, right? If it's a penny stock, you're not going to give it a few cent wiggle room. That wouldn't make any sense. But as of right now, we're very close to that target in terms of percentage. From the high of the day today, we're only 12% away from that. I bought this thing when it was around $2, $3, and I'm going to be holding for the long term. So again, not telling you to buy, sell, or hold, but I'll be holding this for the long term. So again, I heard so many people say that, is this a short squeeze? Now it's a short squeeze. Look at this monthly volume. Whoa, we just hit the highest monthly volume ever in the history of the stock, and we still have 14 days left. Now that's a short squeeze. Zoom into the weekly. So anybody who's saying short squeeze before today didn't know what a short squeeze was. This is a short squeeze. When the volume is that, wow, you can see that thing from space, no pun intended. 1 day time frame. Yeah, look at that volume, right? So it did do a 1 for 20 reverse split as well. And so, the price technically, we're at 563 today, or we'll say 562 now. You have to divide that by 20. This is technically still only a 28-cent stock, right? So if you look in terms of percentages as well, from the high to the low of this all-time low, we were down 99.82%-ish. So again, from all-time high to where we are now, we're still down 99.5%. And people are wondering if it can go to $100. Again, $100 is only $5, factoring in the 1 for 20 reverse split. And just because something does a reverse split, which we know all too often in the MJ industry, doesn't mean that it's over, right? Doesn't mean that the company's toast. It's just an accounting trick, just like a regular stock split. Obviously, it's not good. We don't want stocks to do reverse splits, but there's pros and cons to it. But more cons than pros, for sure. It's like 80% bad, but there is some 10, 20% of good that comes from it. But overall, we're seeing, even if we were to go to $100, let's say if we were to go to $100 on this thing, we would still be down from all-time high. We would still be down about 92%. So the new all-time high, factoring in the reverse split, is $1,256. So why can't we go to $100? I think it's very possible. Like I said, we just in a very short period of time, look at wow, we are some close. And the reason why I said that there was a big move incoming is because of, the weekly time frame. We haven't seen a weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross since all the way back in June of 2021. Wow, that's insane. It's been over 1,400 days since that happened. And then another reason why I was expecting a big move is because of the monthly time frame. We hadn't bounced on the monthly time frame, meaning we didn't break the high of the previous monthly candle for 7 months in a row. And we had no, once we did break that pattern, it was going to be a very long pattern that was finally broken. Therefore, the move is usually that much more bullish and significant. And then we had no resistance on the monthly all the way up to 811, and the monthly EMA 12 was at 1038. So I will expect us to get back to that $8 to $10 mark in a very short order here. And you could even have entered on that 7-month pattern breaking. You could have said, okay, we're breaking the high of last month once we break 310. So once we break 310, I'm in. You could have entered at 310 and you'd now be up 84% on that position. And then your stop loss would have been at the low of that month. Absolute monster of a trade. And congrats to all those that followed us in the Power Group private community. And I know we have a ton of new members that have recently signed up as well that have been saying that it's been a very great experience and just really elevating their trading and their investing game. And really do appreciate all the support. And I'm just super happy that everybody's getting value out of it. And I'm able to save people money and avoid making some mistakes and give you some tips and tricks and, trade with almost 60 paid members now. So, we all work together. The more eyes we have on the market, the better, and truly hands down the best trading community out there and the best crypto and MJ community. And we can add space exploration to that as well, and space tourism, also AI and machine learning, quantum computing, all that good stuff. Electric vehicles, pretty much, everything emerging markets. But yeah, we also had a POW algo buy alert that went off on SPCE stock as well. When did that buy alert go off? It went off on May 10th. So you're given a 6-day heads up. And then, yeah, we had a stochastic MACD bull cross on the weekly time frame as well. Again, we were very far away from, we deviated very far away from these moving averages. On the weekly time frame, $6 is the 50 weekly, and the 200 weekly, we're now over it. So again, we could even see a golden cross over the next couple of weeks, which means we would easily be back up to that $8 to $10 mark on SPCE stock. But let this be a lesson, right? When you get this deviated away, when you get this far away from these moving averages, unless you think the stock's going to cease to exist, right? The company's going to go bankrupt, then we usually gravitate back towards it. And look how far we were away from that moving average. And then here we are gravitating back towards it, coming back up, confirming it as resistance. We'll gain our composure, regain our strength, and then look to break through it and then get above it and act as new support. And then we'll set our targets on the 100 weekly there at $23. But again, all these numbers sound pretty crazy, but you have to divide it by 20 because it did a 1 for 20 reverse split, right? So we're technically still a penny stock. We're only at 29 cents, 28 cents. We're not at $5. It's an illusion, right? And all these people who sat through the 99%, it looks like an MJ stock, right? Like absolutely decimated. All these people who were down, 90+%, they probably stopped paying attention to this stock, like most people, like 99% of retailer investors, right? So when they stopped paying attention, the stock was probably at $5 or $4, but then it went into a penny stock. But then they weren't paying attention, right? And then now when they look, they're like, oh, it's still only $5. That's when I stopped looking at it, but they're not factoring in the fact that it did a reverse split, right? So it's up way more than they actually think. They think it's probably just around the same price when they sold, right, at $5, but it's actually at 28 cents. So they don't realize that there was a reverse split. Most people don't even know what a reverse split is, right? So something we know all too well in the MJ industry, but if you know anything at all, reverse splits don't mean anything. It's certainly not a good thing. But look at INSG, it's a 5G play. I mentioned this one was an absolute monster of a buy as well, under $2. And what do you know? Right after the reverse split, it went up 12x, 1,200%. So yeah, just because something doesn't a reverse split doesn't mean that the stock is garbage or it's going to zero. All right, we got London in the house. Very nice. Thanks for joining, Clive, Neo, Jam. Hope you're all doing well. We got Ava, Fly Birdie Fly. Took a little profit in the Roth, but still holding the big bag in the taxable account. And man, it's looking good. That's awesome. Way to go, BJ. Yeah, congratulations. I haven't taken any profit yet. I'm not looking to do so. I might take a little bit of profit once we get closer to that $10 area. Maybe my initial investment, and then let the rest ride. I'm basically here for $100, right? But again, factoring in post-split, more like $5. So just a reminder, we're at 568. You have to divide that by 20 because it was a reverse split. We're only at 28.5 cents on this stock right now. So let that sink in a little bit. There's still a lot of ways to go. We're over 70% now. And in terms of the 15-minute bull flag, we're breaking to a 15-minute higher high. RSI is overheated. We're at 90. It's going to be a big pullback, 10-20% easily. Very, very soon. It could even happen as we get closer to that bull flag target of around 630. Here we are, 584, folks, 75% and gaining. Congratulations to all space holders. Yep, you bet. Thanks, Zach. Jam says, I want to see it 1,000% plus. Yeah, it's going to totally do an INSG move, right? It's very, very similar. And yeah, I think it's going to do something similar like that, right? We had the reverse split, 1 for 10. This was 1 for 20. And then boom, stock ran 1,200%. So if SPCE does something similar, oh, just notice CGC's busting too. If we do, reverse split and then 1,200%, that would put us at $27. CGC's flexing, trying to start the monthly bounce for the second month in a row. Nice move there. Not sure if there's any news or not, but yeah, SPY's been, we're seeing market expansion open up, right? SPY was a daily bull flag. I mentioned this as well multiple times. If you've been tuned into the channel, I gave you 2 weeks heads up that we had a daily bull flag on SPY targeting 586. There was actually another bull flag, 587. And then we just had an hourly bull flag on SPY. And that target was 592. And here we are. We just hit 591.69. So again, this is wind at your back, so to speak, tailwinds, right? Especially with regards to SPCE bulls. And risk on in the market really, really starting to pick up. And risk on appetite, market breadth and expansion opening up. M2 money supply, global liquidity, probably going to cut rates. Things are heating up in a big way. $6, folks. 606. 80% on the day. We go from the low of the day yesterday to the high of the day today. The stock's up over 90%. Wasn't even going to do a live stream. I was just going to post a video, and it's like, nope, this is live stream worthy for sure. All MJ is probably bouncing on the monthly oversold. Yeah, it's just market breadth and expansion open up, in my opinion. Pete says, you definitely called it. I wish I would have pulled the trigger. Yeah, all good. There'll be, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be making videos as long as I'm breathing. So probably, another 50 years of me making videos? You're good. So, yeah. I definitely called it, though. Yeah, you're right. It's not really me, though. It's just me reading the charts, and I'm just relaying what the charts are saying. And literally, the chart pattern said 363, and like 2 days later, literally the high of the day was 363. But yeah, look at this thing go. This is called a short squeeze, folks. And the volume it's indicative by the volume, right? Look at the monthly volume. I posted in the POW Group private community today. I said, this could be the highest monthly volume ever. There's still 14 days left. And then like 2 hours later, the volume is the highest that it's ever been. So crazy. But yeah, what an absolute monster of a swing trade if you just played off the monthly time frame. If you would have entered just on a break of the monthly resistance last month, that was a 7-month pattern that broke, and the stock's down 99.8%. What do you think is going to happen? The whole rest of the market is ripping, like face-melting, raging bull, right? So that's called tailwinds. But yeah, if you just entered on a high of last month, breaking 310 of April was the high. So if you just entered on that and that 7-month pattern breaking, right? If it was a 3-month pattern, it might be a decent bounce. If it's a 7-month pattern, probably going to be a big bounce. If it was a 2-year pattern, it's going to be like, we're going to Mars on this thing, right? Speaking of Mars, here we go. 15-minute bull flag target reached. Oh, man. This is awesome. You literally can't make this stuff up. I just posted about it in the POW Group private community, and oh, man, is the community ever going nuts. Space now confirmed a 15-minute bull flag, making another post so it's easily visible. So I posted this when the price was at $4.94. Just like, 30 minutes ago? So it was at 494 when I posted that, and here we are. We overshot it. We hit 630 on the thumbnail. I said 633. We hit 632. Just like this one. 363. And then the thumbnail now, if I just refresh, 633 is the next target. And we just hit 632. Love it. I just laugh too. Anybody who tells you that like technical analysis doesn't work, it's like, okay, well, how in the hell would I have known that? I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see into the future, but I can read charts. So it has to work. The only other explanation is I am God and I have a crystal ball. I can see the future, which is not the case. Just need to know how to use the tools that were given to you. All right, fun day. What a way to end the week. Happy Friday. Jam says probably a big rug pull back down to cool off the RSI. Yeah, it's gonna be like a 20, 30, maybe even 40% pullback very soon. But not worried, not selling anytime soon. Can you see where the margin call would be? Seeing a lot of stock twits saying 630. Yeah, I'm not too sure, James. Haven't really looked into that, so. I know Martin Lucas Investor's been covering space for a lot longer. I'm more of on the technical side. I've just really been following for the past few weeks or whatever. But yeah, he might be somebody to reach out to on that. And a friend of the channel. All right, fun day. Happy Friday. Hope you have a great weekend ahead. It's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, everybody. And we'll see you on the next one.